YouTube, it's Haley. This is going to be part 2 of my labor and delivery story. Very late. I know Maxwell is about to be 3 months old now. I can't believe that, but where I left off was I was about to get the epidural, which I did end up getting for my delivery. I got that, and it took a while, for the whole process of waiting for the people to come and bring everything, get set up, get it. It wasn't, really working at first. They had you say where you felt things and roll around a little bit, and it took a little while to get that to work. At first it was only working on this side and on that side, and then they had evened it out, and then it worked for about maybe an hour, and then it stopped working, and it didn't work for the actual part of delivering him. But it was nice to have a little break. I had said that when I got it, I was going to sleep because I wasn't feeling the contractions or the pain. But then I ended up being on the phone, calling my mom, calling people, texting everybody, updating them on how I was doing because, I was just kind of full of adrenaline, and, it was almost time for him to be here, so I was excited. So I really should have slept, but I didn't, and then it started to wear off, and I hadn't gotten any more rest, and then everything moved really fast. I only pushed for about an hour, and then he was here. I ended up, my doctor that I had that delivered him, she was not on call that night, but she ended up coming in just to deliver him because I had said that I really wanted her, because the person who was there that night happened to be the only doctor of my care that, there was 4 different doctors that could have delivered me, and the only one that I hadn't met yet was the one that was there. And he seemed really nice. He came in, I met him, and I said to him, "No offense, I just don't know you. I really didn't want to have you, sorry." So my doctor, that was my favorite one that I saw the most, ended up coming in to deliver him, and it went really well. I think just because I had seen her the most, she really knew what I wanted in delivery. We had talked about different things that I wondered about, and I think she just knew what kind of a birth I wanted to have. So she ended up asking me did I want to feel his head while he was coming out, and I got to do that, which was really neat. You're anticipating. He's been inside, and now he's coming out, and I'm just waiting for him to come out. So that really helped motivate me. Oh, he's right there. You can feel his head. His super slimy and gross, but still it was my baby's head. It was awesome. And then also she asked me if I wanted to watch him coming out in a mirror. So I got to so when she got there, they brought the mirror in, and I got to go ahead and watch him coming out. So every time that I pushed, I could tell exactly what I was doing. And that's what I think helped me not have so much of a long time pushing, because I could really tell what kind of pushes were doing the most work and what was helping. I really do believe that if I wasn't watching, it would have been longer, and it really helped me. One of my friends had said to me, because I did tape the birth, which is posted, you can go ahead and watch that if you want, but my friend had asked me, were you acting more calm because you knew it was being videotaped? And I said, no, I really think it was just because I was in the zone, I could see what was happening, and even though it hurt, it wasn't as bad because I could tell oh, it's hurting because he's coming out. That push brought him further, that push brought him further, and it was amazing. And then he came out in one boop. Some babies will come out their head, and then you have to push some more for their body, but his head was coming out, and then his head was out, and then his body was out. It was all just one big push, and then he was there, and then Rob cut the cord, and they immediately put him on my chest, and he was there for a good while. He was on my chest for about maybe an hour, maybe more. I don't even know how much time had passed, but they were really great about that there. He went straight to my chest, and we started to try to breastfeed for the first time shortly afterwards, but and do skin to skin, and it was really great. I have to say, I loved the whole thing. Obviously I loved it because he was the result, but I just mean like my whole experience. I had a really good overall experience. One thing I do wish that I think I could have not gotten the epidural. Um, Perhaps maybe if there's a next time I can like try some more. But it didn't even work for that long. It was like a big hassle to get it, and I had really not wanted to, so I was a little bummed about that. But all in all, it doesn't even matter. It all worked, and that's all that matters. Like nothing went wrong, and it was all good. So I have all of the times written down from like when things happened, so I can give you the exact times of when things happened. Because Rob was keeping note of that for me, so I'll let you know that now. So well, I had gone in on Tuesday to be induced, and he didn't end up being born until Wednesday evening. But the times that we started keeping track of was when it was 11:27 a.m., the day of his birth. I was 4 to 5 centimeters dilated. They broke my water then because it had been taking forever, for them to soften my cervix and for it to dilate. So they broke my water then, and they started Pitocin shortly after that. So that was at almost 11:30. It was at 11:24. Then at 1:57 p.m., my contractions were every 5 minutes now. So it didn't take super long for them to get pretty much going and getting closer together. Then at 5:10 p.m., my contractions were 2 minutes apart, and I started the process of getting the epidural then. So I told them I want the epidural, and they went ahead and started getting everything together to give it to me. That was at 5:10 p.m. At 5:43 p.m., I had texted my family and said the epidural finally started working, and that's when I started, I was getting a break from the contractions, so I started talking to everybody, my family and everything. That was at 5:43, and then at 7:38, I was fully dilated then. The epidural had stopped working already, and I was telling them, I think I need to push. I feel like I have to push. I feel like it's there. And they were like, oh, yeah, you're fully dilated. Oop, his head's right there. And they were like, kind of just like, they were like, you can do some starter pushes if you want while we wait for your doctor to get here. Because my doctor was on her way because she wasn't at the hospital. And they started preparing the room for when he was delivered. And so that was at 7:38. The funny thing, if you go ahead and watch my birth video of when he was born, when I was delivering him, it's funny because like I didn't even notice at the time because I was so in the zone of what I was doing and concentrating on him that my doctors are just kind of having a little bit of side conversation in between, like when I'm taking breaks and trying to kind of breathe through the contractions. And then I asked my doctor, I was like, ooh, like, because I would ask her, is that a contraction? Because I just felt like I was having full-on contractions the whole time. And they were like, ooh, don't push, only push when you have a contraction. Because at first I was pushing like a lot. I was pushing when I wasn't even having contractions, and they were like, no, you want to wait until you have the contraction because that's when it will all work together to have him come out. So I really couldn't tell. I just felt like I was having non-stop contractions, and so I would keep asking her, like, I would just breathe through it, and then I would be like, ooh, that one's worse. Is that a contraction? And she would tell me if it was or not, and if it was a contraction, then I would push. So at one point, like, my doctors are all just kind of blah, 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 having a little conversation with each other, and then I was like, ooh, is that a contraction again? She said, yeah, and then I started pushing, and they were even telling me, like, ooh, push easy, because it was happening so fast, and then, boop, it just popped out. But yeah, it was, pretty, I started recording the birth, like, a little bit after my doctor had gotten there, because, we had to, like, I didn't want to, like, record nothing really, but nothing was going on yet, and then I wanted to wait until my doctor was there, and we started, like, really getting the pushes started. But at first, also my doctor, her, I don't even know what everybody's called, but like the helping nurse doctor who was in there, the one in my video who would keep telling me push, 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 push when I would be pushing, she would be telling me like, ooh, breathe in between the contractions, and at first I was going like this, like in between contractions, and I was kind of hyperventilating, and she was like, oh, you can't do that, you have to breathe, breathe normal. And I would be trying so hard, but it would hurt so bad, so I would just keep going, and I slowly, got my breathing better. So in between the contractions, I would be like trying to just slowly breathe through it. But then once it would happen, I would just be in the zone trying to push. The really hard thing for me though, in giving birth to him would be like when I was pushing, you know, I would take a big breath in, let out a big breath in, and then push. But after I immediately started pushing, if I was still having the contraction, she would tell me, go ahead, keep pushing, you're still having the contraction. It was hard for me to push, like, again. So I would, like, give one push, and then, like, once I stopped doing that push, it was hard for me to, like, build up and push again. So, always, like, the immediate first push was the best. That's why I didn't want to stop either. The push that, he came out with, I was pushing, and they were like, ooh, easy pushes, but I was like, no, I'm just going with it, because I know that once I stop this push, it's going to be hard for me to build it up again, so I just, like, pushed through it, and then he came out. I just really highly recommend watching In a Mirror. It was amazing, fantastic. I can't believe that I got to see it. I don't know why I didn't think to ask for that myself, but now I know for next time, because I would really love to do that. Anyway, 8:27 p.m. and this beautiful little boy was born. He was wide-eyed. He was just like eyes wide open, looking around, and he didn't cry too much. You know, he cried, but he wasn't like crying a bunch until they took him off my chest and started doing the measuring and stuff. But I think it was because he got to lay like immediately with me and Rob and just kind of be on us and relax. So he came out, his eyes were wide open, he was just looking around. He tried to breastfeed. He didn't really breastfeed until later on, but he kind of tried to a little bit when he was first born, and we just did the skin to skin and just laid there and looked at how beautiful he was, and now I can't believe that he is almost 3 months old. Such a big boy now. But anyways, I'm so sorry that I'm so behind in these videos. I'm going to try to pick them back up again. That's why, even though my hair is crazy and he's asleep right now and I've got laundry going, I'm just recording this fast so that I can get these back and going. I have a lot of stuff to update you guys on, so I will try to do that soon. Alright, see you guys later.